Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
And I got these 2 message requests on Instagram, and one guy said, "Hi, saw you on Tinder, hope you don't mind me messaging you on here." And then it showed me a picture blurred out with a warning over it that says, "Picture blurred to avoid unwanted content." And so I obviously was like, unblur, and it was just him and his cat.
I love it. I like him.
Oh my god, what is happening?
I like it.
that was a weird experience.
Yeah.
We're going to transition now into part 2.
How
blue is my mouth right now? It feels pretty blue. My lips are really chapped and I keep
They're not at all. Is mine blue?
Are mine?
No.
I'm a disaster.
Not a disaster.
I feel like because you asked about your mouth, that means my mouth is probably purple.
No, it's not. You know why? Because I did this and I was like, ugh, and purple came off my finger.
I find that my mouth never stains with red wine. And some people, it does.
What's your secret? My lips are always chapped because I don't drink enough water. Incidentally, that's why I also get drunk.
Yeah. Guys, but those were 2 epic stories. Thanks so much for telling them. Because, you want to know what? We didn't hold back on these. And, but like you were saying, I think people need to hear this because not enough is being said about the reality.
No,
right?
Absolutely.
Of the situation.
It is not what it is like in the movies.
The movies are bullshit.
And it can be that way.
It could be.
Absolutely it can be.
Or it could be not.
And the point isn't to scare anybody because I can't wait to have a second baby.
Yeah, even after all of that, I would still do it again. I think next time I would schedule a C-section. I would schedule it probably for the week after a baby was due, and then if baby decided to come early, then great, I would try and do it naturally because I still have that FOMO about trying to do that, but I wouldn't be as scared of a C-section this time, and I would rather have it planned so there wouldn't hopefully be as much trauma afterwards.
Yeah.
So it would be a little bit more calm and less emergency situation.
Yeah.
So you do it all again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys are fucking badass, strong, rock star women.
This is really what it comes down to. Whew. I think it is not even about us being strong rock stars. This is tear worthy here. I'm getting a little teared up. It is about the love that I have for my child. No one can prepare you for that. No one can prepare you for all of that shitty stuff that happened to us before. But it is a love like no other. It is the truest form of love that I have ever experienced. And if I had the chance to experience that again, of course I would take that. It's crazy how much just it pure love that you have for this tiny little human, and you know that he has that for you. It's
other level.
It's another level. It is primal, like we said before. It is instinctual. It is deep within you. You can't brain that away. I'm a very
it's amazing,
logical, compartmentalized person, but this child just it consumes you. It is a consuming
love
need.
Unconditional love.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, right out of the gate, right?
Because I think some might be unpopular opinion, but I think some types of love should be conditional. In other words, if your partner beats you and that's a condition. So that's conditional love in my mind. But I think between parent and child, it's unconditional.
Yeah. And it is I felt connected and I loved Finn, and we knew what his name was going to be too, which probably helps before he was born. But we started referring to him after we knew everything was okay, and I personally allowed myself to start feeling a bit more comfortable, just having dealt with loss in my own life before, not of a child, thankfully, but just of loss. It took me a while before I kind of felt comfortable kind of allowing myself to be excited about having a baby. Anyway, so when I got to that point and we started calling him by his name and everything, like you already love this little person who's not even at this point it's like you kind of a lump with like a finger here and an ear over there and like a thought and like a toe, you know, like
it's weird, like,
but you love that being, you know.
There's something about like being responsible for like a whole life form that is it's like a feeling like no other. Like I can't even call it love. Like it's just something.
It's crazy.
It's just a different feeling altogether.
It's whole next level. And then so you love this thing that you're creating, and then they come out and they're there and they're this person. And the thing is, like, you feel this overwhelming responsibility because here's this little person that didn't ask to be born or created or anything, and now they're here and they are completely helpless, and
they need
you are their everything.
Everything.
And it fills you with this sense of like responsibility and purpose and love unlike anything that I've ever done before. And for me, like, it has been the best thing. And I think I was saying to you before, like, I totally respect people that don't want to have kids.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. 100%. It is a huge commitment, absolutely. A huge decision. Yeah, 100%.
But like for me, like, I've always wanted a family, and having my son is just, it
changes you.
Yeah, I can't put it into words, but it's been the most wonderful thing ever. And people will say, "Oh, has it been a crazy transition?" And I'm like, not really. It's just like my life, but amplified with so much more love with this little guy. I mean, yeah, of course, there's some scheduling difficulties. Like Ben and I haven't gone to see a movie together in 8 months because we haven't been able to make that work yet. But that's okay, you know. But otherwise, it's just like, it's Ben and I, and we're really happy, and we love each other, and we also have this little person that we love, and he's so cute, and he comes with us, and he's hilarious, and he makes us laugh, and it's awesome. I love it.
For me, like that, like when I first found out I was pregnant, like it's certainly like a sense of like love and protection already. Like I guess like. This is a weird comparison, but like how you love your cats and your dogs. Like,
I was thinking it in my head as you were talking.
Yeah, because I think there's something about a being that relies on you for life. Yeah. You know, so there's like, the more something relies on you, the more you love it, I guess.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So imagine like the love that you have for your cat times 1 billion. Because literally like this tiny little child, well, even like this tiny little embryo relies on you for everything,
and you like, made it.
You made it. Like,
have you ever cared for a plant?
No. I'm scared to care for a plant because I feel like then that would be the like, I just. And, like, coming from a whole other perspective, don't feel like I have maternal instincts. I didn't grow up with cousins. I didn't grow up with younger siblings.
Me neither. Same.
Like, I don't feel like there's a maternal bone in my body. But, like, as someone who's 31, single, I used to just have this idea of being a mom. And I wanted it. Mm-hmm. And at this point, and it's fucking sad, and I don't want to bring down the love train at all. But, like, I can't picture that life because I might not get it.
Sarah, I'm 38.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be 38 next
I know. Yeah.
month, you know?
It's still certainly possible. But
Jesse and I have only met, like, well, we met a while ago, but we have not even been married for 2 years, and we already have a 1-year-old.
That's very true. And, I mean, it could still happen. I guess it's just, it's something I want, but I guess I'm just preparing myself for maybe not getting it, which might be sad, but it's more of me just, again, preparing myself for it because I admire it so much. And
you'll be the best auntie that Zach will ever have.
Actually, none of my sisters are gonna have kids, so that's actually. But I mean, like, I got all these friends having kids, and it's so freaking cool to just watch it, and like, I just admire y'all so much. It's so much work, and
It is work, and sometimes it feels like work, but often it doesn't.
It's just like, it's your life.
It's just the life, yeah.
Yeah.
I've often said that even my worst, because I'm on mat leave now, so I'm home every day with my boy, which I'm so thankful for. And
again, thanks, Canada.
Yes, thank you.
Good old
Canada. I feel very #blessed. But no, I just being at home with him, and I've said before, even my worst day at home with Finn, even my worst day if he's having, especially when he was younger, and it's like I couldn't make him happy, and he didn't want to nap, and he was crying a lot, and he just I was nursing him, and he wanted that, and then he didn't want it, and then he wanted it, and he didn't want it, and I didn't know what to do, and I thought I was losing my mind. Even on the worst day is one of the best days of my life.
Right.
So it's because, and it's true, wow. Like getting up in the middle of the night, like you hear him cry, and I'm like, oh, why? And I'd kind of like go out of the bedroom and trudge into the nursery and pick him up, and he just looks at you, and it just melts none away. Of it matters. I'm like, you could literally do anything right now.
Let out a fart.
Anything.
Oh
anything.
God, yes.
Yeah, and bodily fluids, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, I don't know.
So, I hope I get to experience it. It sounds terrifying, but
so I've always heard it's good you're having a girl or a boy. You don't have to worry about cleaning poop out of their vagina. But do you know how hard it is to get poop out of ball wrinkles?
It is.
It is so hard.
And you want to be really careful.
Yes, ball wrinkles are hard. Poop gets all up in there.
They do, and it's tough. It's tough.
Oh,
it's really,
my God.
Yeah, it's tough.
Anyway,
I
think
at
wrinkles.
one point I was saying the love for me didn't start right away. I felt this responsibility and this kind of love, a love, but the love truly came when he started to smile back.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother level. And now he's this whole person, and it's just yeah. Anyway,
and the personality starts to come through.
Well, my child has had a personality pretty much since day one.
Dramatic as soon as he entered the world.
Okay, so Melanie and I share a doctor, as we already said, and the last time I took Zach to see our doctor, the doctor was like, your child should be an actor.
Oh,
because
man.
he makes such good faces, and so many people I've met have been like, he should go into acting, because he is the most expressive, crazy little child ever.
He is.
He's so funny. He cracks me right up, but
both
anyways,
so freaking
also
adorable.
Keeps me on my toes and doesn't sleep. So trades off.
So I have a question.
Mine isn't very funny, but I get great sleep.
But he's very cute, and you do get great sleep.
And he is funny.
Yeah. You guys both, those babies, let me tell you, can't double tap enough.
Your child is also one of the best dressed children I've ever seen.
So snappy.
So Instagram worthy.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah. My child, I'm just lucky if I can get clothes on him. Literally, it's his favorite thing as soon as I take any piece of clothing off for him to just run away, and he just cracks up. He thinks it's hilarious.
I said to Ben the other day, I was like, oh my God, what if we have spent all this time curating a perfectly hipster kind of, uniform for our infant, and then one day once he gets old enough to express his opinions, and he's just like, Mom, Dad, can I have an Under Armour sweatshirt? Like, no!
Oh, yeah.
No, don't you want to wear your little flat cap with your denim jacket?
Your Abercrombie and Fitch?
No. Under Armour.
Under Armour. Give me a black trench coat.
Oh, damn.
But we'll love him anyway because he's ours.
I mean, Hot Topic is coming to Halifax. So.
Hey.
It's true. So we'll see.
Okay, what's your question, Sarah?
Yeah,
so
questions.
my question is a tough one. And you certainly don't have to answer if you don't want to. But
I'm sure we
did
both will.
either of you experience any postpartum depression?
I just started taking medication 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah. We're not actually sure if that's what it is or if it's just the fact that I haven't slept through the night in over a year. But yeah, I just started taking medication 3 weeks ago for an antidepressant.
So did you just go get help and they kind of came to that decision?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of a theory that I had. I've just been so just generally exhausted. And I mean, as I've mentioned a few times, like my hobbies generally include active things like walking and hiking and yoga and things like that. And those things that used to make me and used to make me feel like myself were the things that felt like a chore, and I wasn't really getting enjoyment out of those things. And those are some of the big signs of postpartum depression. Also just a sign of chronic exhaustion and low iron, which I also have. So we're just trying some medication. So I don't know yet if it is depression or if it is just exhaustion. I have noticed in the past few weeks, actually last weekend I was like playing with Zach and we were having so much fun, and Jesse looked at me at one point and was like, "Are you high?" And I was like, "Why?" And it was because I was like laughing joyfully, and I guess like I haven't realized that I hadn't just like laughed like that in so long.
Wow.
But I don't really know if that's depression or because for so long at the beginning of Zach's life, I mean, I had this tiny little human to take care of. So you literally have to be like diligent and vigilant every second of the day. You're like, when was the last time he ate? How much did he eat? When is he sleeping? When is he sleeping? Is he hurting his head? Is he breathing? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, you constantly have to be thinking about that. Plus, I was in so much physical pain. Like, I literally cut my head off from my body, you know? So I was very in touch with what was happening between my brain and my body.
Holy crap.
Because I had to, because you have to get through the day. You have to take care of this tiny human who relies on you for absolutely everything in life. And for so long, and it's hard once you get in that pattern of it to break that pattern.
Right.
And, like, actually let go.
And let yourself have
a
laugh.
Yeah, exactly. And just be free and light. And I have had those moments in the past, several months where I have felt free and light. Notably when I was on vacation. So somebody else was taking care of a lot of like the extraneous stuff, and I only was taking care of Zach, so I didn't have to like cook or clean or do any of that stuff. Because I think part of what happens to moms when they're on mat leave is, our job is to take care of our child, but then there's this other, stereotype or this other like stigma that says, oh, I also have to take care of the whole house. Yep. I have to clean, I have to cook. Yep. I want to have a hot dinner ready for my husband when he gets home from work because he's been working all day to support us. So it's constantly like, okay, I have to take care of this little helpless human, but also I have to take care of this like giant man human and the whole house and
all these errands and
the errands.
And you can't, it's hard. Even if you want to do all those things, it's impossible to do them all to like, I guess, the level that you would hope.
Exactly. And I think Melanie and I both have like, reasonably high standards, I guess, when it comes to like we both really enjoy cooking and like taking care of our house and that kind of stuff. And we both, I don't know. So it's hard to just kind of let some of those things go. So there was so long that I just was in my head only, like constantly thinking like, okay, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. When I go to the grocery store, I need to do this, blah, 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 like this and this and this and this and this. That it was just so hard to actually connect back with what's happening and like living in the moment and stuff like that.
So true.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's that. So you've been on... I've
been on some antidepressants just for a couple of weeks. I've noticed a few lighter moments, like I said, with like laughter and stuff. That's but good. Also because now I'm back at work. So I am leaving Zach for 3 days in a row. So he's in the care, like he's in a day home 2 days a week, and he's with my mom a full day a week. So those are 3 full days that I let that go. And now I've kind of gotten into the routine of letting that go. So that could be part of it. Also, it's been really beautiful weather and sunshiny, and I always suffer from a little seasonal depression.
Oh, so
anyway.
true. Yeah.
That's just an ongoing constant in my life. So, but bottom line is the last week or so I have been feeling better. I don't know if it's the drugs or the sunshine or what, but
you're feeling better, and that's what matters.
Better, yeah. I wouldn't say there's a lot of levels of postpartum depression for sure. And there's a lot of like postpartum like psychosis, which is a whole nother thing. I definitely didn't ever get to that level. And I don't even know if I ever would have said that I was like, very depressed or very sad. Like I wasn't like crying daily or even weekly, but I think it's pretty normal. Our hormone levels go through a lot of stuff in the first year or so. So there's definitely some days where it's like there's so much on your plate that absolutely you break down and you totally just bawl your eyes out, and that's all you can do.
Is postpartum genetic at all? I don't know.
I don't know. It may be.
I know that my mom had it with all 3 of us.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that's like, I just feel like I would probably get it, but I don't know if it's genetic or not. But I'm just a depressed person in general. So I just got that regular depression.
Just the regular.
Yeah, just the regular kind.
Hey man, take some pills. It's great.
I actually don't have benefits right now.
Oh, sad.
That sucks.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Melanie, at all? Or
no, I haven't had any issues with that. I'm on medication anyway for clinical depression and anxiety, so maybe I'm already medicated.
Hedging your bets.
So
I got you covered.
But because I was going into this pregnancy with that, so some of my concerns were, can I still take my medication when I'm pregnant? So when I was pregnant, of course, I talked to my GP about it, and then she sent me to there's like a reproductive mental health unit at the IWK. Oh. So I went there, and they were really good. So they told me, yeah, you're fine to continue taking this medication. There were some possible risks. The thing is, though, there hasn't been enough research on certain medications and pregnancy. So
maybe that's why Finn is so chill. He's just so not he's like not anxious.
Yeah, no,
he's just happy baby.
He's just happy. 9 months on that.
I should have started taking those drugs earlier.
So he is a very chill kid. No. So we had
but in a normal way.
In a normal way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He's not like stoned or anything.
No, absolutely not.
He looks very chill and snuggly.
He is very sweet and very smiley now too. He's such a cute little personality now.
But something that I had to Ben and I had to weigh the the risks versus the benefits of me staying on my medication and any possible side effects. The possible side effects that were listed for us for Finn at the time would have been like a cleft palate. And we said, that's something that we know can be fixed. Yeah. So it was much more important for me. We decided to feel healty during the pregnancy.
Good for you. Yeah.
So we did, and it was great, and he's had no issues, and I felt good throughout the pregnancy mentally. Physically, I felt like a pile of garbage, but mentally I felt good, and I've continued feeling good. But I've since I've been diagnosed with depression, I've been really I guess self-aware. I'm very in tune of how I'm feeling and what that might mean, and how something might affect me. So I really do kind of take stock of my emotions every day and figure out where I am, especially with being a mom, because there are just stressors now, and little things used to really get at me until I realized that I was actually having some other problems. So then when I was medicated, I was able to like let go a lot of those things that used to really bother me. And I'm glad that I've had all that diagnosed before I had a child, because I can see how it would make everything so much worse, because you have to live with a bit of chaos when you have a kid.
Yeah, there's so many things you can't control.
No. And then like, and you know, which you know from even from our own birth stories, things you can't control. And then, you know, a kid, and then you throw like my house, like a Ben and 2 dogs and a cat.
And some renovations.
It's chaotic. So I can, I think for many people it can be kind of a perfect storm. Right. If you're already struggling,
very overwhelming. Plus, like I said, the hormones. Like,
I still don't know if I feel totally like back to myself yet.
I can't imagine, because I mean, even just the birth control pill for me, makes me crazy. Like, I'm not on it anymore because I was just like, I don't feel normal on this thing.
Maneuvering all the way. I
should try that. I really should.
Yeah, it's great.
Interesting.
I was terrible at taking the pill. Like, I was so bad at it. So the maneuvering's great. You put it in for 3 weeks. You take it out after 3 weeks.
I messed up so bad once on my pill. I went into the pharmacy and I said, "Look what I did. How do I fix it?" And they said, "We don't know." How on earth? Okay, so I was on a pill that was a different level of hormones every week. So it was like, you know, start light, and then I started taking the highest level. I had my pill flipped. I think I was just drunk one night.
You started taking like the fake pills first or something?
No, because I was on a 21 day. So I was actually taking, and then I took like 3 of those, and then I was like, oh, what do? Do I just go back to the first week? And I was just all over the place. And I went in, and they're like, yeah, you've messed up, girl. We don't even really know.
I think that's actually what they say. Just like, okay, get rid of those pills and try again, sweetheart.
But I've been off it for a while, and I feel fantastic. I mean, it killed my sex drive when I was on the pill. I didn't even, I mean, as a single person, I want to feel horny and shit every now and then.
I think most people do. Yeah. Most people do.
Horny's good. And I didn't feel it. And I went off it, and I was like, she back! She back! But gotta be careful.
Extra careful.
I'm thinking about maybe going back on it. Like, now that I've been off it for a while, just as a reset. Because also for skin issues, I'm like, maybe I'll go back on the pill.
I just like knowing when I'm going to get my period. That's my favorite part about birth control.
Yeah. And I'm
like, it's now. Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, yours is super regular.
It's always
super regular.
It used to be Wednesday before noon. And
my God!
So, like, when she was trying, I would text her on like Wednesday or Thursday and be like, "Hey, did you get your period?"
Like, 12:30, Sondra. Yes, I have.
Oh my God! It was down like to the hour.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
By a certain hour, I'd always have a big poop, and then I'd start my period. Was that too much?
That's always that's a telltale sign. I mean, I'm not on the pill right now, and I have a period tracking app, and it's within a 2-day range usually that it's correct. But it's like right. Actually could happen at any moment right now. I'm like just waiting for it. Waiting for the eagle to drop.
Good thing you're on a leather chair. You can wipe that right off. It's okay.
When you say the eagle to drop, do you mean a big poop?
Those poops are the worst. I heard a comedy sketch.
The rag runs.
Oh no. You didn't have to give it a worse name.
I'm sorry.
It's just like, it's not fair that we get the horniest when we're on our periods, and yet we get the most like gross, gassy, bloated, crampy, like emotional. Like we get all these other things with it, and it's bullshit. But my other question was going to be about getting busy with your men afterwards. I know that when we were out for your engagement party, you had brought up just the fact that people don't talk enough about getting back into that.
Right,
that
because you hurt. Because you hear 6 weeks you can start having sex after you've had a baby. So in my head, it was like, oh, you're just going to be like really like anxious, and 6 weeks are going to come and you're going to be like, oh, finally we can have sex. When the reality for me, and I think for a lot of people, was like, oh no, 6 weeks, that means I don't have an excuse anymore.
Can you please tell me 12 weeks?
Now I have to like actually let you know, I don't want to have sex with you.
I just actually was watching Kelly and Ryan.
I love them.
Yeah, I love them too. And just this week, Kelly was like, you can negotiate with your gynecologist. And you can tell them to tell your husband, 12 weeks sounds good. She was like, 6 weeks isn't long enough.
Damn.
And of course, like, yeah, I mean, obviously, it has nothing to do with, the man.
No.
It's all you think a poop is scary?
God.
After having a baby? It's scary and it's uncomfortable. Right. And I can't say that's for everybody. I don't know. For me, it was scary and uncomfortable, and I'm 8 months postpartum, and it's still not where I'd like it to be. We're still working up to things.
Right.
We've had sex, but it doesn't always work because it hurts too much, and that's not fun for me. So, so that's, it's kind of, it's a bit of a bummer. So it actually does become something, I think, that as couples, you really do have to work towards. So as unsexy as it sounds, you sort of have to schedule your sex dates because you
try for it.
Because you gotta keep at it. So I guess it starts feeling better again.
Is there things that you can do for yourself, I guess, in a way, like that might get you in the mood to, like, when you have those days where you want to feel sexy just with yourself, you want to put something cute on, or is that part of it? Just kind of amping yourself up a bit?
For me, it's not even I'd like to have sex and then we start and I'm like, oh, it really hurts a lot. So that's the problem. So it's that it's physical. It's your body actually. Pain. Yeah, for me, it's my body basically betraying me. But but some women I know just don't have the desire to have sex at all. They just not interested at all. It took me a while. I wasn't there after 6 weeks, but I'm there now, and it's still it's not always 100% successful.
Yeah,
on my part.
I'm more like that. And I think because what I was saying earlier, I cut my brain off from my body so much because I was in so much pain for so long. It was really hard for my brain to talk to my body, to think about things like being just in pain or in pleasure. All those sensations were kind of cut off. So it's and it sucks because I love my husband so much, and seeing him be a dad is so amazing and so sexy, and I want to, celebrate that, but my own body took so much of fucking beating.
God damn.
That I don't feel connected with my own sexuality as much.
Right.
My own body has changed. I have a huge scar across my belly. I gained weight, and it's just a big challenge. And we have had sex, of course, since, but it's still very a nervous experience for me because I am expecting pain. And I am waiting for it. So I find it's hard for me to even relax enough to start to enjoy it. And it has happened. I have enjoyed it. It's not all bad. It's not all painful. But
it's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress. Yeah. And it is something that I can imagine if somebody didn't have a strong relationship with their partner, that could crumble.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's so true.
I want to make that part of our relationship work. But it is definitely a work in progress, and it definitely has required a lot of patience on his end.
And your end too, with yourself.
Absolutely. And just knowing myself and when I'm ready and stuff. It's hard for me to feel sexy too, because for so long, I was saying earlier, there's so much on your plate, you're just constantly thinking about this or that or this or that or this, things are just running through your head that you're oh my god, I'm a sexual being. What?
There's no time for it.
What? That is the bottom of the priority list.
Mix that with a body that you don't recognize.
That you're not happy with, or you don't recognize, that you're like...
There's a lot going on.
Things don't move the same way. Like, I'm not as flexible as I used to be. Like,
I'm laughing because I'm picturing the amount of times where I've been like, ow, wait, no, wait, sorry, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, sex isn't as sexy as it used to be. You know? It's like, it's definitely more of like a, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Opposed to like,
it's like a challenge.
Yeah,
but again, like, don't think this is forever. It just takes a while.
Yeah,
that's it.
And
I think that's good for both, like, for both partners to be aware of.
Yeah. And it has no reflection on how attracted we are to our partners at all, or how, like, anything like that, or how much we love them. It's just, we took a fucking beating.
Yeah.
Like, we went to war.
And being tired can affect your sex drive
Absolutely.
so hard.
And our hormones, again. Like, there's not... I like, so strongly will say 100% that there is not enough research done on women's health, women's hormones. And as much as I love the IWK, and I'm so thankful for the resource that we have in them here in the city... every bit of money that's ever donated to the IWK goes into children's health and babies' health. It does not go into women's health.
Yeah.
Everything that I've heard, it doesn't. Women's health takes such a back burner to the birthing process, and of course these babies are so important, but we have to take care of them.
Yeah, you guys need to be good too.
We make up a large part of society, and our hormone levels, they're fucking chaos. Like, how do we control that? There's no easy blood test to test your hormones, or if there is, like, I haven't had it, and I would love to.
Yeah. One
of the things that I was told when I was in hospital that, kind of made me a little upset was that, so I had. First of all, it's like 6 a.m. I had given birth like 3 hours before. My water had broken now almost 24 hours ago. I had this big tear and I hemorrhaged and I was still literally covered in blood. Okay. And I remember asking the nurse, can somebody help me get into the bath? I just wanted to take a bath and clean myself up. I wasn't strong enough to do it. And they said, well, if you can't do it yourself, we can't help you. You're not sick. You just had a baby.
What?
And I was like, okay, no, I didn't say this. I was just kind of like, oh, okay. But I'm not sick. And yes, women have babies all the time, but not every delivery story is the same, as we have discussed. And I was not well. I had suffered a trauma. And even if you have a really easy birth, I'm doing air quotes for the listeners, it's insane what we expect women's bodies to do. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. And the idea that you can just like roll out of bed after and be like, no, I'm fine now, I'm going to take care of somebody else. No one needs to take care of me is really disheartening. And I think it's crappy.
Yeah,
that
I agree.
Sucks.
And like for the easiest birth, like that's what I kept thinking in my mind. I was like, you know what? Babies get born in fields every day. Like, moms give birth in the middle of work, and then they just put the baby on the back and go back to doing whatever they're doing. That was not my birth story. That was not my situation. So, like, there's not enough. That's why I was so thankful that I had a midwife, because, like I said, that was the first time that I felt like I was being taken care of.
Yeah.
But even still, like, there's only so much that they can do. There's only so much research out there. There's only so much support out there for, people that suffer this trauma. Like, if you had like a gunshot wound and lost a liter of blood, like, you would have been treated, I think, very differently than if you just had a baby. You're fine. That's the thing. Women have babies all the time. But if you had a gunshot wound, you'd be like, oh my god, you had a gunshot wound? Oh, let's take care of you, do all the tests. And
you know what I always think about is friggin' Kate Middleton. Like,
that
she
poor
pushes
woman.
out a baby, okay? A couple hours later, she's got to get all prim and proper and dressed up to go out and just be like, you're my and like post her pictures.
Even just the heels. I remember I was like looking at her ankles and I was like, oh, you poor girl.
Oh my god.
I feel so bad for her.
So bad.
Like, don't you just want to just be in your...
It looked beautiful and perfect. And then that sets like the ideal, the standard that we all are supposed to be.
That,
like,
and you're
if we can't all be Kate Middleton, what's our problem?
Bounce back after birth and like get your body back and also feel great. And you know, it sets up women to either not talk about these problems and then realize how common they are, or to sort of ignore them and think, well, no, I must be fine. Other people do this, so I guess there's nothing wrong with me. And then who knows? Because then if you ignore those things, what if it's something serious, like part of a placenta left inside of you? But you're told, listen, women do this all the time. Suck it up.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
you're not being taken seriously at all.
You know, and then, but then it leads you sort of not to take yourself seriously, because you sort of think, well, maybe I'm just really weak, or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not good at this whole motherhood thing. And I
was like, am I just being a whiner? Am I a complainer? Like, oh, I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But here, like, parenthood is hard, period. You know, my kid sleeps 12, 14 hours a day. I'm still exhausted after spending a day with him, though. It's tiring.
Oh God,
it's tiring.
Spend a day with my child. You have no sweet clue. Not to compare, but yes.
But it's tiring regardless, because you are keeping someone alive. You're trying to make them happy. And
teach them
and teach them
and mold them
and take care of yourself too. And I've already have like crazy mommy guilt, because my son's 8 months and he's only ever had like 3 play dates in his life. And what if I'm setting him up to be super antisocial, and have I already failed him? And like, I'm constantly thinking about all the stuff I could be doing wrong. Right. So so at the end of the day, like when Ben comes home, I'm thankful because I'm pooped.
Yeah. Damn. Fuck. Well, that actually leads in really good to... I put on Facebook today that we're recording this. I happen to have a lot of Facebook friends and various friends that are either pregnant, new moms, maybe have several kids, various forms of mothers going on. And a common theme that came up in these questions is the idea of advice and people giving you advice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just try to find some comments to read here. So the first comment was from my friend Krista, who's the host of 36 Times Podcast. It's an excellent true crime podcast. Go subscribe to it. And she says, don't listen to any advice from anyone other than your healthcare professional, of course, and maybe your own mom. And then we had some other comments about this. No one knows your kiddo better than you.
Yeah, that's a big
Trust
one.
that instinct you develop when you become a mother. It's pretty much always right. Also, every kid... different kid, different strategies. Just because something works for one parent doesn't mean it will work for every parent with every kid. And then someone said the best advice I got was to try and put real pants on every morning. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I don't know about
I've recently tried to challenge myself by putting on clothes on pajamas, or not just getting out of my pajamas and putting on another set of pajamas.
So at one time in my life, I thought that like dresses or skirts were really dressy. You know, exactly. Sarah, you're beautiful. You're all dressed to the nines always. And then that changed to like jeans were really dressy, right? When yoga pants came out. And I realized that it was time for me to go back to work when I decided that yoga pants were dressy. Because pajama pants were the norm. Pajama pants or sweatpants were what I would normally wear. And when I went to go out, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to put on a pair of clean yoga pants and that'll be dressy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's so funny. And then this came in the form of a question. And again, all of these comments, I just want to say, are all about the idea of people trying to get to you with their own perceptions of what should be done as a mom. Oh, yeah. So my friend Leia writes in, what do you say to those who give you endless and unwanted advice constantly? So she says that she hasn't had a child yet. However, I struggle with this when planning a wedding, and I fucking hate it. And I can only imagine how worse it gets when you're carrying a child.
Well, Melanie, you're planning a wedding and you have a baby.
Double whammy, double whammy.
Double advice.
Yeah, I will generally, I'm not, how do I put this? Not a big fan of unsolicited advice. Some people handle it really well and they just go, okay, thanks for that. But I can't help it. I'm kind of person who will say, well, no. Da, 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 da.
That would be me too.
Well, because I'm his mom. Da, 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 da. I think what bothers me the most is, and I haven't really had much of this, but people sort of think you're doing anything that would harm your child, or like, well, no, he must be hungry. He's not. I know that. He's just crying because he's tired. It's fine. Well, maybe he's hungry. No, he's not. I know he's not. Right. Or you think if, like, I would know if he was hungry, and I would feed him. He could eat the whole house. I don't care. But he's not hungry. So stop telling me that it's something else, especially something that you're kind of insinuating, like, I'm withholding from my child.
Really, though?
You know?
Yeah.
Like, that sort of
It's a tone
thing,
of judgment almost that comes over it.
Yeah, it's not helpful. It's not. Now, that said, I am in some, like mothers groups on Facebook, and we ask each other questions all the time. So it's not that, like, I don't like advice, period. I think it's the unsolicited kind of like, well, just saying kind of advice, which is the worst. The just saying
I'm just
advice
saying
is the worst kind of advice. Yeah, that I can't. I'm not a big fan of.
It's such a tone of like, yeah, I'm right, and you'll soon learn that I'm right. So
because
just saying.
It doesn't come across as caring. It comes across as, like, confrontational, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan of that. But like I said, first time mom, so I definitely do have questions, and I'm glad to talk about things and get advice from people and hear of different ways of doing things. But otherwise, yeah.
And it's almost like I feel like maybe there's a way for that other person to bring that across better. Like, maybe say something like, well, like, I don't really know what your experience is, but when I had a kid, this is what happened to me. Like, almost just speak to your own experience, but not necessarily say you should do this.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
assume that experience is the same. Because like we've friggin' said, every woman is so different.
Every woman is different. Every child is different. Every family is different. I think I've been pretty lucky, and I've either not gotten a lot of unsolicited advice, or it hasn't registered because I haven't cared enough.
Right.
So that thankfully doesn't apply to me too much. But I also am in a mom group on Facebook for all babies born or due in April of 2017, which is when my son was due. So all the babies in my mom group are all around the same age, which is really fun.
That's nice.
But it's crazy to see some of these moms, like, going crazy. It's so mean to say, but, like, everybody's just kind of turned one because it was in April. So all these, like, first birthday parties were happening. Oh. And so many of these moms just went so overboard with these cakes and these parties and the stress and the this and the that and the this and the that. And it's really funny to
that would be
that happen.
Yeah, that would be
but that's like cool that, like, you have a community.
Yeah,
and you can,
it really
even if you
is.
don't know these people, like, you can connect.
It's all across the world.
Yeah,
and so
that's so
it's
cool.
really cool that it's like in this one particular group, I've joined a couple of groups and left them or blocked them or whatever, but this one particular group I'm in is pretty non-judgmental, and so it's all like, hey, like, is your baby doing this? Like, oh, I didn't know this was normal. Or is your baby doing this? And how long has your baby been doing this? It's pretty cool that way.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky that I haven't had too much kind of unsolicited advice. I have had, just last week, actually, I had a client at work who I was telling her that I had a 1-year-old at home, blah, 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 and she looked at me up and down, and she's like, you're awfully skinny for having a baby. And I was like, I'm still like 10 or 15 pounds heavier than I was when I first had the baby.
Don't skinny shame.
Like, this is the first time I met her, and like,
and did you say?
I know. I was like, is that a compliment, or are you like? She just said it so judgy, like, you're awfully skinny. Like, I'm really.
I cannot wait.
I don't know.
I'm doing an episode all about body image and body confidence this week. and I can't wait to talk about
topic.
This idea of women picking apart other women.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Nothing infuriates me more than when people do that. I'm just like, God fucking damn.
No.
Back off.
Unless somebody's, like, literal health is at risk one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back the fuck off. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
seriously.
matter. Yeah. It's like, who cares? Like, women
just
are, if you feel beautiful, you are beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna end with a funny question.
Okay. Sure.
Well, this might trigger a funny story or two. My friend Diane wrote in and she said, oh no, sorry, not Diane. Kat. Hey, Kat.
Hi,
So
Kat.
Kat's doing Kat will have an episode coming out next week with her boyfriend Jay, and it's gonna be amazing. So Kat wrote, I read an article about this particular question and I was dying over it. So please ask the moms what the most expensive thing their child had ruined is.
My body.
Oh my gosh.
My soul. No, I think maybe they're both too young
to really ruin things.
That's true. There was no like puke or pooping on.
No,
I mean, he don't get me wrong, he pukes and poops on a lot of things, but everything's washable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would really love to start wearing like my nice fancy bras from before pregnancy again. So he kind of ruined those because they got too big for those. Ooh. And I would like to be able to wear those again because they were, fancy. That doesn't really count.
Do your boobs stay big after you give birth?
Mine are starting to get smaller because I've stopped breastfeeding. But I don't know. I'll have to see if I can get back into the old bras. But I was actually just thinking about that because I'm wearing this like ugly nursing bra, and I would really like to wear my pretty ones again.
My boobs have gone back to the same size, but like my back fat is still in full force. So I still can't wear those old bras. Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the only thing I guess that he's, quote unquote ruined. I wish, I want to wear my pretty bras again, but that's okay. I'll forgive him.
So they have yet to ruin anything.
Yeah.
So we'll check back with you. We'll check back with you. Maybe that'll change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he doesn't really ruin a whole lot of stuff yet. He like tears apart like Kleenex and like paper bags when I give them to him, but otherwise he hasn't pulled anything off the walls or anything yet.
Yeah, mine's still kind of a bit of a lump at 8 months.
Yours is pretty lumpy.
He's not even crawling or anything yet. So yeah, he hasn't ruined anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of actually shocked that mine hasn't ruined anything.
I was gonna say,
my 1-year-old found the TV remote. Like he doesn't watch TV. Like I'm not necessarily like against screen time, but I just don't watch TV during the day when he's home, and doesn't really watch TV. But he found the TV remote, turned the TV on, and turned Sesame Street on. He's never watched Sesame Street before in his life. It was just a coincidence. He just pressed it, turned the right channel.
Oh, man.
And when he turned Sesame Street on, he got so fucking excited.
See, now he's going to expect that every time.
He like started flapping his little arms, and he's like...
That's great, because that's a perfect impression.
Yeah, that's exactly how he sounds. He gets so fucking pumped. He's so much fun.
Such an energy ball.
He is such an energy ball. I love him to pieces.
So,
keeps me off my toes.
What's your guys' we'll end on one. This is the last fucking question. I mean, I could ask 1,000 questions, but dear Lord, I gotta get these women back to their lives. What's your favorite thing about being a mom, and what are you most looking forward to going forward?
Oh, good questions.
It's my favorite thing has just been watching this little creation become like his own person.
Yeah.
Learning new things. It is amazing because everything they do, you still kind of feel responsible for, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I taught him that. It's amazing to see him grow and figure things out. I mean, just the other day he was sitting up. He hasn't been sitting up unassisted for very long. So he was sitting up, and in order to balance himself, he held on to another toy and then played with another toy with his other hand. And I was like, he's balancing himself. He's doing this on purpose. He's holding himself up.
That's so cool.
And I was like, that's really cool to see. So it's just, Ben and I have said, like, having a kid is kind of like, well, this relationship is going really well. You know what would be really fun? If we got a roommate. And that's, like, let's make one. And then there'll be 3 of us all the time. It'll be so much fun.
Three's company.
And that's what it's like. Like, we just, like, made ourselves, like, a best friend. And he's so cute. He doesn't really pull his weight yet.
Yeah, definitely not cleaning up after himself yet.
He can be kind of messy. But
So
he's awesome. What was the other question?
Oh, what are you looking forward to most going forward?
I think just continuing to watch him. And I've said to Ben, like, even every stage I'm excited for. Like, I know there are going to be some really shitty times, and I get that. You know, and in the early days, I mean, yeah, I'm like up 4 times a night, like, whatever. Even all those stages were great. So I think even the shitty ones, it's still a part of watching this little person become like a little boy and a little man. And I look forward to that every stage. I look forward to him starting to talk and to actually have conversations with us. I look forward to when he's like in high school and hopefully thinks we're still kind of cool to talk to. And I look forward to having hopefully a second child and watch their relationship blossom and just to see what a second one would be like. Mm-hmm. No, but really, like, because you have no idea, and it's fascinating to watch.
Is really fascinating seeing the personality come out. Yeah.
My Zach, I feel like Zach's personality just shone right from day one. Like, he's been so animated since the beginning of his life. But yeah, like you said, like, watching him figure out the world, like, you know, he figured out how to climb stairs all by himself, and he figured out how to climb down the stairs all by himself. Like, nobody taught him that, but he's fearless, and he's just like, I need to get from point A to point B. How do I do that? And just watching that, like, just watching the cogs in his brain work is so cool, because he's so curious and just so interested in the world and how to do everything. That is really rewarding once he figures something out and he's so proud of himself. I think my favorite part though is, like, now he's really responsive to what you say to him, so he's really like, he understands a lot of what I say, and he understands a lot of words and sentences. So, like, when I say it's time to go upstairs, like, he goes and he climbs up the stairs and stuff like that. It's cool to see him interact.
Oh my god, that's so neat.
It's so cool. And I say, like, who's that? And he's like, Dad. And it's the cat. And, like, do you want to see your puppy? He just whispers. But my favorite thing is when I say, can I have a hug and a kiss? And he just wraps his tiny little arms around my neck, and he just, like, squeezes so tight and gives me this, like, goopy old kiss with his mouth open, and it's not a kiss at all. It's just like, it's just like lips on face.
It's so sweet.
At that age, you don't care about stuff like that. No. You're just filled with, like, emotion and love. Like, God. You just don't care.
Yeah, I just love that. Like, he just, like, he could be playing and doing his own thing, and then all of a sudden he just sees me, and he just, like, crawls right over to me and, like, jumps on my lap and, like, gives me a huge bear hug. And, like, there's nothing in the world that compares to that ever. Aww. It's just, like, the purest form of love on both sides. Like,
it really is.
He loves me so much. Like, it feels so narcissistic to say, but I love how much he loves me. Like, I don't know. Like, it's
no, I get that.
It's so cool.
Yeah. He needs you more than anyone.
Yeah, and now he can express that so much. Like, it's so special.
So fucking cool.
And now, especially that he's, like, away from me for certain days during the week, like, he's learned that mommy can leave him and mommy can come back. Yeah. And so when I feel like the time that we do spend together now is so much more special, and I feel like he even sees that too. Aww. I don't know, but, like, it's just the
misses you.
Few weeks have been really special with him. Like, the days that I do spend with him, like, he like plays and he's so happy, but then he always just, like, comes back and he gives me these huge hugs and kisses, and, like, oh, it's just so special.
Damn.
Yeah. But what I'm looking forward to is, yeah, like you said, like, I can't wait until he starts, like, talking more, and, like, asking questions and can go on adventures and walks and just seeing what kind of human he turns out to be. And I know he's going to be so inquisitive. He's going to be the kind of kid that's just like, why? But why? Why?
Yes, he will be.
He's going to be so annoying, but in the best possible way. Like, I'm so excited for that because he is my child and he is my husband's child.
Oh, big time.
In all of our best and worst flaws. He is the perfect combination of the both of us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's just my special little dude with the biggest, happiest, stupidest grin in the whole wide world.
They are both absolutely precious and adorable.
They're really cute.
We made
you guys did.
They're
you made
really good
you
looking
made
kids.
good babies. And they go and be friends.
Whether
they like it or not, yeah.
Yeah, because they are completely opposites. I have this vision, I think I've said, of like summer, Finn's like swinging in a hammock reading Shakespeare, and like Zach is climbing the trees all around him and just like being a maniac, but they like just having
they'll be like opposites attract.
Yeah, I think so.
They'll be like a buddy comedy movie.
Yeah,
together.
Zach's gonna be the one trying to get Finn in trouble.
Yeah, Zach is robbing the bank and Finn's driving the getaway car because he's like, well, I had nothing else going on. So
Exactly, 100%.
Ding ding. That's fantastic. I want to watch that movie immediately. You guys have been so friggin' great. And like, I just want to say thanks so much for taking a night to come on the show and talk about this.
Thanks for having us.
Because scheduling it, I was just like, oh my god, they're so busy. I just want to make sure it happens when it's good for them. So I really do thank you guys so much. Because I really do think there's probably going to be a lot of moms, wannabe moms, soon-to-be moms, who knows, listening to this. And I think they need to hear this stuff. And I think it's going to give them some comfort. And you're both very brave for coming on and reliving those birth stories. Because
those soon-to-be moms, I promise, not all of your...
Yeah.
We are
no
both
guarantees.
Unusual stories. Hopefully yours goes much better than ours.
I will say this. Those 13 hours I slept with an epidural were the best 13 hours sleep I've ever had in my entire life. It was great. Also, highly recommend getting a catheter in so then you don't even need to get up to pee. Awesome.
But
God,
not
I've never...
a Fully catheter, a balloon
No.
catheter that might burst and the nurse be like,
Never a good sound to hear. But seriously, rock stars, I can't say it enough. I love you both. Can't wait for Melanie's wedding. That's going to be so much friggin' fun.
So pumped.
I'm going to continue to Instagram and Facebook stalk both of your children. So thanks so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. And do the honors. You guys can both together ring that bell. You guys. Woof! This episode!
Yes.
Fucking Mother's Day special to end our Mother's Day special. All right. Someone's getting this. One of you. Fight over it.
Are you kidding me? Just take it if you're going to arm wrestle me, you freak.
Okay, how do we stop this? I feel like I've been drunk. Right. There's an aspect to drunk podcasting where it's like, oh yeah, I have to make sure this episode.
So, hold on. Wheel your mic over here.
Oh, right. Audio sync.
We'll end sync. You do it. Go. End sync. Okay. Now, on the count of 3, hit the stop button.
Oh, stop button.
Go up there.
Okay.
To the top.
Oh, wait. Okay.
So, on 3.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.